Hi everyone! In today's video I'll be styling some open shelves, and I gotta say, for me that's always a bit of a challenge. I don't like a lot of clutter, and with open shelves you kind of have that look sometimes, so I have to be careful how I style it. Don't get me wrong, I do see some shelving on Pinterest that is nice and full and it just looks really good. I like that look too, but I think here for our home I have to stick with a less is more look. I have two different areas I'll be working on in this video, so join me as I do this and enjoy. Do you know that this was the first piece of furniture that I ever did a video on, probably about 5 years ago here on my channel, and I won't even add the link in the description box. You can look it up if you want, but it's such a cringy video, my first one of course, and I just remember I really had to talk to myself to get that done. Not as far as, redoing the piece of furniture wasn't hard, I've always been doing that, but to put myself out there, put it in video form and publish it was really scary for me. I've thought about switching it out with a nice antique, like a stained piece I think would look pretty against this wall, but I really have mixed feelings about it. I don't know, is it because it was that first project I ever put on YouTube is why I kind of hang on to it, because I'm really not sure if I'd use it anywhere else. I'd probably sell it if I would get another piece. So for now, we'll just leave it here. Now let's style the shelves. I normally have my off-white dishes on these shelves for the most part, and that's probably what I'm going to do today, along with a few other pieces. This pretty wire cage I had picked up in the botanical gardens that my son and I had visited a few weeks ago. It was in the gift shop, and I thought it's so cute. I'm going to use this for a little bird cage. I finally have a wax melter. I got this one playing bingo at a church event just recently. Right now I have a gingerbread wax melt in here, and we have all kinds of really great smelling wax melts on the Etsy shop. I know I talk about candles a lot, but we do have wax melts also. One of you guys had sent me these pretty white tea towels with these words on them, blessed and grateful. So pretty, thank you for them. The green and white one was also a gift from a couple of years ago. So pretty. As you can see, mostly white things with just a few splashes of green is kind of what I always go with for these shelves. That kind of works here in the dining area. So I'm kind of eyeing this desktop here, even though I still love the look of these curtains that I had put on here last year, especially since I have the drop cloth curtains on the windows. I think it goes so well together. I'm kind of in the mood for open shelves, so I think I'm going to remove them, and I can always put them back in if I ever, grow tired of the open shelves. But I think for this season, I do want the open shelves, and removing these curtains will reveal that the color inside the desktop is light blue. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and paint that white. I do just want a white look. I think that just makes everything pop more. I'll give you a brief history of this desk. It used to be John's dad's, and he didn't want it anymore. He got a new one, and no one else in the family wanted it. It was actually fairly ugly and orange, yellowish looking. I don't have a picture of how it actually looked before I painted it black, but for a couple of years I had it black. I had more of that primitive country style in our home, And then eventually, of course, ended up painting it white and had the inside that light blue color, added the beadboard backing. I still kind of like that look, but have since added more greens into our living room, and I feel this aqua, light aqua, doesn't really go so well with that. For a spell, I had the top removed from this desk and just used, the bottom part. The top part was used down in the basement to store some hunting supplies in. And then last year, I put the top back on, added the curtains. Do you guys change your things around too, like I do? I know it probably looks like I'm just never content, but for me, I just like a new look sometimes in a room. I just feel like it just brings cheer into a room. I like the idea that I can always switch it back to the way it was, or, keep it and add something else, and just so much fun. The paint I'm using here is my usual Do It Best brand paint, and the color is Winter White. And I'm using a satin sheen. I probably wouldn't even have to paint the beadboard part of the inside here, since I plan to add contact paper to cover it. But just in case I want to remove the contact paper eventually, I'll go ahead and paint it. And sometimes color will show through contact paper also, so I think it's a good idea to keep it white. I thought about getting a wallpaper that has more of a vintage, maybe floral or birds design on it, but I just didn't get around to getting that done, so I'll just use what I have on hand here. This is one I've used before in projects, maybe to line drawers with or just for a backing. I didn't have quite enough contact paper for the top section to get the height that I wanted, so I'm going to go ahead, instead of just trying to find other contact paper or piecing it. It's sometimes kind of hard to get it just right when you do that. I'm just going to put a board along the top. I think that's going to look okay. I'll paint it white. And today's video is sponsored by none other than White Cottage Company. Right now we have the most adorable teacup candles on the Etsy shop. Check them out. And as I often say, our candles are poured using 100% natural soy wax grown by American farmers, and clean fragrance oil is used to scent these candles with. They smell amazing. These teacups will come with the saucers included, but I do want to mention a few of the saucers had a chip or a crack in them, so they're not 100% perfect, but I'm going to send them along anyway in case you want to display it with the saucer. But it would definitely look pretty on its own too with just the cup. And a lot of you guys have been sending me these cups, so thank you for them. It's always so much fun to decide what scent of wax to be poured into them. I also have a few of these cute espresso cups. These have a little more of the modern flair, but I think they're adorable. They are poured with the coffee scented wax. And then we also have some clear ones, and all of the scents will be listed in the description. I do want to mention we still have some Christmas candles left over, and we are having a sale on them, so make sure to head on over to the Etsy shop and check those out. Great smelling scents, nothing wrong with them, just trying to make room for new ones. We do have some soap right now in the shop, but not a whole lot. But we have plenty of this winter frost, and my cousin Susie did a wonderful job in making this. She came up with this pretty design. She actually used shredded organic coconut to sprinkle on top, and it just turned out so pretty. And don't get me started on the scent. I honestly think it's one of my favorite scents. It's kind of like a fresh linen. One other product we have been sold out of and have back in stock are the pink grapefruit body butters. Honestly, you have to try this body butter if you haven't already. It's one of my favorites. It is greasy. I always like to say it's probably not something you want to put all over your face in the morning to start your day off with, but it's just a very moisturizing, all-natural product to put on your skin. And especially if you live in a climate like we do here in Ohio, my skin gets so dry, and I really love this body butter. It lasts for a long time. You don't need to use a lot, and sometimes I'll even wet my hands just a bit before I apply it to my skin. I can kind of spread it out further. Feels so good, and it smells amazing. Make sure to check out all of those products along with some of the others we have. So let's get back to the video. I have some aloe vera plants in front of this window down in the basement, and I plan to remove one of them and repot in a little white pot that I want to try to have on the shelf. See how it does. I knew I wanted a combination of whites, a little bit of green, some natural wood on this shelf. I'm just using things I had on hand. I didn't go buy anything. I have a picture here that I want to frame that I took over at the Cottages, just from the view of the farmlands. And I plan to put a filter on it, maybe a vintage filter, make it look like an old painting, frame that for one of the shelves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and are inspired to use simple things that you may already have on hand to style your open shelves with. And I'm no expert when it comes to styling shelves. I know there's rules that you should probably go by, but I don't really follow any rules. I just go by what I kind of like to see. And trust me, things change sometimes. A good idea is to go ahead and fix up your shelves and leave them like that for a couple of days, kind of get used to them. And even as the days go by, tweak things here and there, maybe take things away or add something. That's what I did with the one in the living room especially. I had to change some things around after a couple of days. Sometimes it just takes time to kind of get the look that you want, or for me it does. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.